You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series, which is also syndicated for the A-List Online. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and the interview subject you're about to hear from, his name is Anton Kabanen. He's the main man, also the guitarist, but he's the main man. He's the guy who writes all of the music, produces it turns out as well. For Beast in Black, it's his band. The reason for the chat is to promote the brand new album for the band for 2019, which is called From Hell with Love. Let's have a listen to what Anton has to say. Here we go. Hey mate, how's things going?
All good, thank you. What about you?
Yeah, not too bad. I've just I'm a 40-year-old uni student these days, so I've had a pretty busy day at uni and decided to take the family out to, because I've got kids, decided to take the family out to Chinese for dinner, the Yum Cha. And that's really nice. One of my favourite restaurants. Yeah. So looking forward to this conversation tonight, that's for sure. It's good to talk to you.
All right. Cool. Likewise.
How's the Aussie phono grind been for you? How's the Australian indie journo types? How have we been treating you?
Perfect. It's been great talk so far. Like, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, cool. All right. Are you at home at the moment, or are you out on the road somewhere?
Yeah, I'm home in the kitchen, looking from the window into snowy Helsinki. Lots of snow there. Drinking tea here. So all good.
Well, it's been about 35 degrees Celsius here. I've been swimming today, and I've got to be careful about going out in the sun too much because you can get burnt and get skin cancer, which is a real big issue here in Australia, as you can appreciate it, because majority of us have a heritage from Europe, and we're not got that heritage of being out in the sun all the time. So, but we do go out in the sun. You just got to lather up and be careful. But that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. So,
okay, yeah.
So tell me, you were in Battle Beast, okay? And it's interesting. I had a chat with Nora about 2 years ago. She seemed pretty cool, and they had a pretty good album out. I can't remember the name of it now, but I know you had, if you don't mind me saying, you had a bit of a difficult divorce with the guys, but you rebounded, and you rebounded very well. And here you are now with your second album, I think, From Hell with Love. Now, to my ears, feel free to correct me, it's a harder, leaner and meaner version of what you were doing with Battle Beast. So it must feel great to have an album out there after your initial album, Beast in Black's album, was received so well, The Berserker.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rewarding. Like, I'm trying to see this whole picture, like looking at my own career when I started. When was the first time that I wanted to have a band and, get a record label and so forth. And Battle Beast to me nowadays looks like, it was a school. And now with Beast in Black, we're like finally, like now we're like really, like this is the real deal. Finally getting to do this way, and it's going well, and it's very rewarding. And so everything that happens in life, it's just like a turn on the road, or a bump on the road. It doesn't stop your journey. So that's how it feels now. The journey is like going on, and we have like a nice pace. It's like, it means that there's a lot of gigs and good feedback, lots of views on YouTube, and what any band would like, what any band dreams about. And, it's slowly happening and growing up. And hope it stays that way. It's still just the beginning with Beast in Black, only second album, and hopefully we can do this for decades. Since the band feels itself very great. The chemistry is very much there, and
I can hear that. I can hear that. It's a very composed album, meaning that there are no weak spots. Okay, so music's very subjective, but I'll be quite frank with you, power metal and that sort of thing, it usually isn't my thing, but I did like your album here, and I listen to albums in the car. And that's the thing that I do lots of driving, lots of long-range driving in my Jeep. And one thing I notice about an album is if it's patchy, I tend to want to turn it off, because who doesn't? But with your one, I was quite happy to listen to it from start to finish, and there's a lot of really positive moments right across it. So I'm really glad for you that you're getting that feedback on YouTube, and hopefully people are commenting positively on YouTube if they're watching the videos that you got posted up there. Yeah. So that's
they do,
yeah. I like the other thing I liked was the album cover art too.
Okay, glad to hear, because it's kind of in this typical sword and sorcery type. What Ken Kelly or Frank Frazetta or Boris Vallejo does, but those guys are like one of my favorites, and they are also some of the favorites of the guy who made the album cover, my friend Roman Ismailov. So I'm glad to hear you like it, because we're gonna keep that style. At least it fits
for sure. Yeah. Well, look, this is something I'll share with you now. You've obviously seen what's been going on with Manowar. And I think bands like yourself, there's a massive opportunity there now, because I think a lot of fans are really put off by what has gone on there with Manowar, and they might not return. And for bands like you guys who are producing have a similar fan base, it's probably fair to say, you're gonna attract a lot of fans. So I'm really glad to hear that, and that's really important to the fans, is the image and the artwork. So, putting things like this on silk flags. You remember, you used to be able to get, or you still get them, of course, but the Iron Maiden album covers on silk flags and hang them in your bedroom. I'd love to see this album cover on a silk flag. It would look awesome.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea. We were thinking of producing some, like that kind of stuff available in the future, like for the merch or for the web shop, flag, that stuff. It's good. And I'm a big fan of visual stuff anyway, and so it definitely, like you said, the image is very important of the band. And some might find it like cheesy or corny, whatever, but as long as it, comes from the heart, for example, the music itself for some is like so cheesy, but I grew up with this kind of 80s and 90s music. To me, it's like natural and normal, and when I write song or when we work on the album cover art, it's not okay, let's make something so cheesy, let's collect all the cliche elements and stuff. It just happens the way it happens, because we really mean it, what we do, and stand behind our decisions and artistic decisions. And
good on you. Yeah, well,
maybe that's why it works, because it's not like fake, it's real. It
is
not
real.
Pretend.
Yeah, no, it does. I know what you're saying, because you've got a perfect marriage between 80s style synth pop and power metal. At least that's what I'm hearing. Bit of thrash in there too, which I really like. But who inspired you to craft such anthemic music? Because of course you were a principal songwriter in Battle Beast and got them on that track, but no one was really doing that 10 years ago. You're really the guy that started it off, from what I can see.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's because I've been growing up with that stuff. It comes from the cartoons even that I watched as a kid. I love the opening themes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Biker Mice from Mars. It's like cartoons had kick-ass music, and as a kid, it already like something subconsciously made me realize, hey, that music creates certain feelings, and maybe that kind of like taught me to control, like learn music and then control it in a way. I mean, like to create certain feelings by knowing what you do music-wise. Nowadays I understand, okay, if I write this and this and put this together, it creates more or less this type of a feeling. At least that's how it feels for me. Like I'm flesh and blood like anyone else. So probably majority of people are going to feel more or less the same like I feel about this. And the inspirations and the idols, like I cannot really pinpoint a one single one from who I learn. It's like all the good music in my life. I always like keep it in the back of my mind, and when I write stuff, it's nothing new. It's something that I learned from the best ones, and I just pick my favorite pieces. And writing process is just like letting out that stuff that you have absorbed during your whole life until the moment where you are now.
So you did tour with, certainly, I think you'd agree with this, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best, and that's Blackie Lawless out of Wasp. Did he give you any sage words of advice?
The Wasp tour.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you heard that whole thing. The tour ended quite soon. It was supposed to be like a month-long tour.
Shit. But no, sorry, I didn't hear that. I read that there was a tour that happened, but yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of kind of funny thing that you said that any advice from Blackie, but it's quite the opposite what happened there. The tour ended and the reason was Blackie Lawless, basically.
Oh, shit. What happened?
No, but nowadays we already laugh about it because, it didn't stop us. It was a bump on the road. But back then it was like very, everyone felt very bad and like frustrated, but that happens. He has a reputation and I guess I could say he kind of lives up to it. There were difficulties like since day one on the tour, weird behavior from them and all kinds of ridiculous demands and decisions, how they treated the support band. And so at some point, at some point they just like it was too much, like the latest of their demands. We were like, okay, that's it. That's totally bullshit. We're not gonna give in to your demands, but that was not agreed beforehand. It's a different thing if you agree on something beforehand. Of course, we do exactly how it's in the agreements and stuff. But when they come up with something that's nowhere written in like black on white, and then you come with all kinds of stuff, it's ridiculous.
Can you give us an example of some of the things that happened that led to the tour ending early?
Well, okay, the latest thing is I'm just going to tell that, they started to like kind of, ask for money, or let's say blackmail is maybe quite a strong word.
Yeah.
That's quite a strong word, but, and there was no like agreement on that. It was these money things and all that were agreed beforehand. You cannot like suddenly demand.
Say cough up and give us more money.
So
yeah.
we were like, hey, that's about it. Like we're not paying you 1 dime or 1 cent or €1. So, but nonetheless, I'm still a fan of Wasp and Blackie. Like music wise, I'll still love the albums.
Yeah.
I listen to that stuff. So I understand that, they are also flesh and blood, even though at some earlier stage of my youth, like as a teenager, bands like Wasp are more like idols. You have your own image of them, but then you realize, especially when you meet them, it's like, hey, they're not like these gods are that great in all aspects. Like they have their weaknesses as well, and I just accept that, and because it doesn't stop Beast in Black. We know what we want to do, and like I said, it was a bump on the road, so I don't want to have a grudge.
No, and you're very. I mean, you went through, my words here, a difficult divorce with Battle Beast, and now you've had this thing happen with Blackie. You're very resilient, and you've got the music behind you. So, yeah, to your point, mate, it is just a hiccup on the road to a very, very long and successful career, I envision, for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about. Like, you gotta know your destination. I mean, if you don't have a goal, like where you want to go, then you are like a ship without a captain, drifting around, never ending up anywhere. But when you have that something, that's a great like source of like emotional powers, like strength, and that keeps you going on. But it's not easy. It's hard. I'm not telling that it's easy, but if you wouldn't have that, some kind of a goal or passion for something, then it could have much more devastating results when you have these setbacks. And of course, like, if you have a family support, friends there with you, like true friends, and a big thank you for all of those people goes always as well.
Yeah.
That's how it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, look, you've got great music, and that's always the platform. We talked earlier about the image and having great artwork. That's all. I think that's essential, but it's not as essential as having great music, and you do have great music. So just keep on with the wonderful music that you're producing, and fans will keep flocking to it. As I said before about the Manowar thing, and it's just, I hate when I hear things like a guy like Black. He should know better. He's a born-again Christian as well. So if they've fucked up the finances on the tour, that's not on your heads, that's on their heads. And they shouldn't be treating a band that way. It's as simple as that. It's really shitty to hear that they do that to an up-and-coming band, an emerging band.
Yeah, but that's a great lesson again. Like for a band like us, we we've experienced that kind of a tour. I've experienced like getting out of like being kicked out or being forced to leave on my own band and all that stuff. And when you go through lots of difficulties and you kind of see the bigger picture and act also better. Like you don't have like these delusions when you go on tour or when you make album. You just realize things much better and stay down to earth. It's important to stay down to earth during your whole career. You know, when somebody starts to become like too much of a star or diva, well, then we are going the wrong way. And like Nightwish is a good example. Like all the guys are great. You know, they're the most successful band from Finland, and they're still like so down to earth. You can easily chat with them about anything, and you know, I really admire their attitude, how they have remained from beginning until this day. So
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And something else, I'll just talk about the album again. What probably the key feature of the album that I was really impressed with was the way that you captured the vocal on the recording. So is that you that's done the production as well, or did you have a really shit-hot engineer that just knew how to capture the vocal side of things?
Actually, I produced it myself in my own studio.
Oh, there you go.
In the beginning, I had a friend's help to set up some recording equipment there, but from that point on, I took it from there until the end. And Yannis is a great singer, actually. He also produces, stuff on his own, apart from Beast in Black. So he's very good studio musician, and he has a perfect pitch. So he's very good with that.
Yeah, I heard that. I definitely heard that. Yeah, look, with all due respect to bands like Hammerfall, I've always felt that, can't remember the vocalist's name, but I always felt his pitch was off. And it might have been intentional, because sometimes that happens, just to have a bit of a tug at the melody there. But there's there's a lot of power metal bands where the vocal isn't there, but yours is. Your vocalist is on point. You've nailed it. You've captured that beautifully. I write notes when I'm listening to things, and to me it sounds like a choir is singing.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you. And like I said, Yannis is like, in a way, easy to work with in the studio because he pushes himself. I don't always have to push him because he's also demanding for himself, and that's how I like it. When the guy is there to give his 100%, and he hears the nuances. Many singers, I've heard many singers who, in my opinion, could be much better, but they don't hear the nuances in their own mistakes. And Yannis is great. Most of the time we hear the same things with him. 90% of the time when we are choosing the lead vocal takes, it's 90 or 95% of the time it's the same selections that we always make. So that says something.
In tune, yeah. Yep. All right, I better make this my last question then, because no doubt you've got one coming through in about 2 or 3 minutes' time or so. But Australia, have you heard a lot from Australian fans over social media, and have you got plans to come down here anytime soon?
We would really love to come there, but I think the correct way would be, first to get a good support slot or to play at some festival, because that's how you make yourself known. Go support some big band, huge band there. Then people know about you. Then the next time you might go there as a headliner. So I guess we have to find the right slot whenever there's availability and resources to money-wise to do a tour, and find the right artist that could take us as a support band there. Then we would definitely come there. So, and we get feedback from Australia and everywhere in the world actually. So cool. Everyone is asking come here, come there, go there, and we'd love to play a world tour at some point. But now it's too early because we're still in the beginning. It's only the second album, and it's not the 80s anymore or 90s when the physical sales were better. It's really it's hard times in record industries.
Yeah. That it is. Well, look, good luck with everything. You got a good head on your shoulders, mate. I think we'll be having conversations for many years, because I'm not going to stop doing this anytime soon. So I think I'm up to my third or fourth conversation with Blitz from Overkill. I think you're going to sort of have a career that mirrors theirs. Yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing, man, and hopefully you'll be down in Australia before you know it.
Yeah, I hope so. Indeed.
All right, mate. Thanks for the chat. It was awesome.
Thank you. Likewise, and have a good dinner at the restaurant with your family.
Yeah, we're done now. So it's 9:20
Okay.
for me. I'll try and get the kids to bed now. So that's all good. Yeah.
All right.
No worries. All right, brother. No worries. All the best with it.
Okay. Till next time. Take care.
For sure, mate. No worries. Catch ya.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series, which is also syndicated for the A-List Online. My name's Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that interview subject was Anton Kabanen. He's in a Finnish outfit called Beast in Black. Thank you so much for listening.